Today, we are diving deep into a fascinating story, the journey of a man named Brother Anselm. Now, this is a really powerful allegory about what happens when rigid, human-made systems collide head-on with the wild, chaotic energy of nature. It's a story about a descent, really, into what it truly means to be sovereign. And the whole thing kicks off with this incredibly loaded line. It just perfectly sums up the core arrogance of our protagonist, Brother Anselm. See, he's not walking into the wilderness as a guest. He sees himself as a conqueror. He's armed with this absolute conviction that his rules, his weapons, his piety, that they can actually tame existence itself. This one sentence, right here, it sets the stage for the absolutely brutal lesson that's coming his way.
Okay, so to really get a handle on Anselm's journey, we first have to understand the armor he's wearing. And I'm not talking about physical armor. This is psychological. It's spiritual. It's institutional. The story calls it the architecture of pride.
And what that means is Anselm's fortress isn't made of stone and mortar. Not at all. It's a fortress he's built in his own mind, constructed out of what the story calls dusty parchment. Old rules, rigid dogma. This is the shield he holds up to protect himself from the messy, unpredictable, and frankly terrifying reality of just being alive.
So what's holding this mental fortress together? Well, the story has a name for that, too. The spirit of gravity. Think of it as this immense internal weight, this leaden sense of self-imposed duty. It's the belief that the safety and structure of his institution are the same thing as truth. It keeps him grounded in his role, sure, but it also keeps him from ever really flying.
But here's the kicker. This magnificent fortress, the very thing that gives him his identity and his security, it's actually a prison. It's a gilded cage. He's traded the terrifying, noble price of being truly awake and truly alive for the hollow comfort of a title, a role, and a list of rules.
All right, so Anselm ventures deeper into the forest. And this is where the story gets really interesting. The forest stops being just a backdrop. It becomes an active force, a character in its own right. And it starts to take apart his carefully built world, piece by agonizing piece. And this lays out the central conflict perfectly. On one side, you have his architecture of pride. It's rigid, it's legalistic, it's designed to keep reality out. But on the other side, you have what the story calls the verdant absurdity of nature, this place of just superhuman, raw, primal vitality. And here's the thing, nature doesn't argue with him. It just acts as an uncanny mirror, reflecting all the decay and darkness he's tried so hard to hide under his holy robes. You see, the forest is running on a completely different operating system. Something this story calls the logic of zero. It's this fundamental, primal reality where the thrumming life of the earth just doesn't care about human authority. And some sword, his laws, his prayers, in the face of this, they're all meaningless. They're reduced to zero.
And this is the moment it all comes crashing down. His entire life was built on this vile economy, this system where he traded good deeds for salvation, and it just collapses. He sees with this horrifying clarity that he traded the lived fire of actual raw existence for the hollow pretense of being virtuous. So, as his world is crumbling around him, Anselm finally comes face to face with the embodiment of the forest's spirit, a mythic figure who is going to force one last, ultimate confrontation.
And the description of this being is just so powerful. This is no gentle shepherd. He's a warrior king with skin like flint and eyes of cold fire. So it begs the question, who or what is this? He's called the Uccini Christ, but, and this is a huge but, this is a radical reimagining. This isn't the meek figure from Dogma. This is the shadow of the Overman, a living manifestation of the land's own untamed power and potential. So this Christ figure is the direct opposite of Anselm's spirit of gravity. He embodies the spirit of becoming, this principle of constant vital growth. He doesn't offer salvation through blind faith. He offers sovereignty by forcing you to confront the void. He even challenges Anselm to sign a note in the ink of negation, a symbolic act that basically demands he erase his entire identity. It's a trap, but a trap designed to dismantle pride.
Now, this confrontation kicks off Anselm's final deconstruction. It's a trial by fire. But the courtroom is his own soul. And you know what the fuel is? His own pride. So here's the beautiful, terrible irony of it all.
The very tools he used to protect himself, his status, his certainty, his rigid social roles, they become the kindling for his own personal inferno. His arrogance literally weaves an internal hellmouth, and he has no choice but to be consumed by it. You can almost watch it happen step by step, like a dark ritual. The forest closes in on him. His reason, which he only ever used to justify his own beastly certainty, it completely fails him. His armor of pride is burned away. And only then, from the absolute bottom, from the ashes of who he used to be, can he possibly be remade. So, after this total annihilation of the self, what's left? What's the profound revelation that comes from being completely reduced to ash? And that is the question that just hangs in the air. After all this pain, after the complete destruction of his world, what was the point of it all? This is the staggering truth at the very heart of the story. His prison, his gilded cage, that fortress of pride he spent his entire life building and defending, it was never locked. He could have walked out at any moment. His imprisonment was entirely self-imposed. He's no longer on the safe ground of his stone house. He's now on a fragile rope balanced right over the abyss. He's living in that tension between the cold, mechanical rules he used to live by and the wild, relentless pulse of life itself. He isn't safe anymore, not by a long shot. But for the first time, he is truly free. And that leaves us with a pretty profound question to think about, doesn't it? The story seems to suggest that stepping into that abyss, letting the fire burn away your certainties, and choosing to walk that fragile rope, well, that's the noble price of being truly awake. So it makes you wonder, what parts of our own gilded cages might we have to let burn down to find that same kind of freedom?